Vaneet in the house. Vaneet, can we see you?
Hi,
Awesome. Love your shirt, Vaneet.
this is
Nice.
my lockdown shirt. This is how I spend my day, baggy
Awesome.
bowling shirt right now.
Awesome. 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 Great. So we normally start when we hit the 100 mark. We are at 98. So we will start in exactly a second or so. I think we should be there any moment now. Come on, 100. Great. So welcome all to this next edition of the induction program. And with me, I have one of my, if I may say so, luckily no other student is listening, my favorite student of UBS. An absolute joy to have him on campus. So very quickly about him, he's done his MSc in marketing from University of Bath, which is ranked #1 for marketing in the United Kingdom. He's of course an alumni of Universal Business School, and he was one of the very few selected students to be representing India and UBS at the International Student Union at Cardiff in 2017. Currently, he's staying in Gurgaon. He works for Bestech Cookware and handles North India sales. Can you believe this guy? He's a TEDx speaker. So the moment he got out of UBS, to get onto that TEDx platform, it took me 20 years of work to be invited, and Vaneet made it in one. So that's just to tell you, this guy is made of a different kettle. It'll be amazing to hear from him. He's also a man with many interests and many different things besides probably business and marketing, which he excels in. He's also, in his TEDx talk, he talked about the correlation between music and meditation. Very different subjects one would not expect. He practices music and fuses different kinds of music. I'm a personal big fan of his UK Lily, which is his instrument. I think you must have seen Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge, in that thing that guy is doing. So this guy is a expert at that, and you must, I promise you, must go to Instagram after this and like Ukewala, Ukewala. If you're right now with your phones, you should do that. Some of the most soulful music. I'm a big fan. Can't get my hands around the amazing music this guy can sing. He's also an advanced pranic healer for the past 4 years. Practices Vipassana meditation techniques. So a man for all seasons, and proud to call him my alum. Over to you, Vaneet.
Wow, that that was long. Every time such a wonderful feeling because
Oh, by the way,
first of all,
one second. I have to tell you one of the most important things of Vaneet.
oh
He was
God.
also CEO of Excola, and I'm wondering why he didn't put that. Maybe that's going to come out in his talk. So over to you. Back to Vaneet.
Yeah, wow. Thank you for that intro. I mean that, it's so interesting to hear this about yourself because I remember when we used to attend these guest lectures and we used to introduce all the lecturers and we're like, man, these guys have done things. And then I was like, man, when is someone gonna say something like that about you? And it's so nice to hear all these things about yourself, especially for someone who I look up to so much. And it's so nice to see you. You still look very young, by the way. Not bad, not aged a bit. That's insane, still in shape. But yeah, it's just good to be connected so closely with the UBS family. They've done so much, and yeah, excited to give it everything today. Literally everything that I've experienced in my campus life to all these students who are now going to be experiencing what I did, hopefully. And yeah, super excited. Thank you.
Thanks. So give them your journey.
So we starting?
Yep.
All right. So hello everyone. As you might know, my name is Vaneet Chaudhary, and today um, we're supposed to talk about how to make your parents proud. But that's the thing, I can't teach you that. I can only tell you about the things that I did or accomplished in the past 5 years to be able to proudly say that, yes, I made my family proud. And I hope the story that I'm about to tell you today stays with you for a very long time. I hope it encourages you to push your boundaries further and bring some positive changes in your lives. So here we go. I was born in a small city called Jalandhar in Punjab. I spent 12 years of my life there. Academically, I was a very good student. Had a great set of friends, amazing relationship with my teachers, excellent marks. I used to be very participative in almost all the extracurricular activities. I mean, that's the life a sixth grader could sort of ask for, right? I mean, everything was perfect. I was actually one of the few students who used to wait for parent-teacher meetings to happen. Because I used to love it when my parents used to come in and my teachers used to say all the wonderful things about them, and why not, right? But life is like a roller coaster. Just like a roller coaster, it goes up and it goes down, it goes up and goes down, and that's how it's supposed to be, right? Because nobody likes riding a roller coaster that only goes up. It's very slow. It's not very dull. There's no thrill in that. And I was at a point where my roller coaster was about to go down because at that very point, we decided to shift to Gurgaon. So my entire family, we moved to Gurgaon, and that meant that I had to continue the other half of my school life in an international school in Gurgaon. Now, so it was a big jump from CBSE to IB, an international board, an international baccalaureate school, from Jalandhar to Gurgaon, and honestly, one of the toughest times for me as a kid. Now, by no means I'm saying that the CBSE board wasn't as hard or challenging as the IB. It was just very different. It was a very different environment, the atmosphere, the education system, the way of teaching. Honestly, I felt like that I was going from a small pond to a great sea, and it was really challenging for me. And then I realized that I just have to like suck it all up and move on, struggle through, and that's what I did. The fact is that I could never achieve the same amount of marks as I did in my old school in Punjab. I could never be as participative as I was in my old school in Punjab. And quite frankly, and obviously, I wasn't as excited for parent teacher meetings as I was in Punjab. In fact, every time my parent teacher meetings used to happen, all the teachers, and literally all the teachers, used to tell my parents the same thing. Your boy is very well mannered, very, very nicely. He behaves well, stays quiet, but academically, he just hangs out in the 60 to 65% group. Now, I'm not saying that's bad, but from a student, like a student who used to be a 90 percentile, I came down at 60, and that I could understand how awkward that would have been for my parents to hear these kind of remarks from, wow, what a student, we're so proud of him, he does so well in my school in Punjab, to this new international school. It was devastating to have my parents go through that. And because it was such a big difference, my current school and my old school, I'll give you an example. To be able to speak fluent English, it was appreciated in my old school. A lot of teachers applauded, but here it was just expected out of you. So I had to just like cope up with everyone and get used to the system. So you can very well imagine the first 2 years of my life in my new school. You must be wondering, why am I telling you the sad story? Well, we're here to talk about something else. Two things. This is not a sad story. This is a very happy story, and I promise you, just stay with me. Second, I am telling you all this because I want you to know and understand and relate to the person that I was in Punjab. I want you to know the person that I was in Gurgaon, and I want you to know, relate, and understand the person, that person that I became after I finished my education in Universal Business School. Speaking of which, we fast forward all the way to the last semester of 12th grade. Everyone is going ballistic because everyone wants to find the best colleges for their higher education. And since it's an international school, Everyone is looking to the USA, looking at the USA, UK, Canada, Singapore, the list went on. I just wanted to stay in my home country and pursue my higher education. Now, it's not too difficult to find colleges in India. There are plenty of them, way too many colleges. But I had a very specific criteria. Since I studied the second half of my school life, the one that really matters, was done from an IB school, I wanted a college that sort of had that international approach. I wanted a college that had that way, I wanted a college that would blend in very well with my school education. I wanted a nice campus, I wanted all of it, literally everything that a student, an aspiring student dreams his or her college to be. And by typing all these things, I came across Universal Business School on my Google search. Now, what do you do when you come across a strange college um, on your search? What do you look at? You look at the location. So I did the same. I looked at the location of UBS and I saw Karjat. My first impression, what the hell is a Karjat? What is this place? I had never heard of this place in my life. Till date, most of my family members call it Gujarat. I'm not even joking. And I did some more research on it, and I found out it's a very beautiful hill valley right next to Lonavala. So I was a little relieved to get to know more about the place. Mumbai, about 1.5 hours, 2 hours away from the campus. So nice weekend getaway. Perfect. I was relieved to a great extent. But what really ticked my checkbox was when I got to know that the UBS, like UBS offers a BBA degree and an MBA degree from Cardiff Met University. So that sort of was a big thing because that's what I was looking for. I was looking for an international environment, because all of us, literally all of us right here, we all want less exams and more presentations, reports, assignments, projects, because that's what helps. And that's where this college was heading towards. And I love that. And of course, to top it off, there was all that jazz about the global CEOs and the endorsements, and I got pumped. Like, I looked at the infrastructure pictures as well. The campus was beautiful. I was sold, to be honest. I was ready to join right then and there. But now the only thing I had left to do was to convince my parents, because quite honestly, quite honestly, my parents didn't want me to join UBS because in 2014, UBS was a relatively very new college. Nobody knew about this. They wanted me to join the known names, Narsi Munji, the Symbiosis. They wanted me to go pursue them. But I was like, no way. I get great vibes from this college. I told them I am not going anywhere. And I'm not lying. I did not apply to any other college after I discovered UPS. And I'm so glad. I thank my parents till date. They were so supportive of this decision of me coming here, because not a lot of parents, take the risk of going with the child's decision, especially when the child's just become 18. You know how it is. So I'm glad that this happened, and I am glad that I ended up in this college. Starting with number one, self-development. Now, self-development is a daily process and it happens with everyone. It happens with all of you as well. Now, I'll give you an example. If you're on Facebook, you go on Facebook right now, you go a year before, okay, you go a year in the past and you look at your comments and your posts. Haven't you seen your comments and posts and thought, well, I used to write like that? I used to think like that? Wow, I was such an idiot back then. These thoughts come in. Similarly, this happened to me, but on a very large scale. When I came to the college, I want you to remember the kid I was when I was in Gurgaon. I was a very, very, very normal, regular kid. I just used to exist in the school. I wasn't doing as much extracurricular, nothing. Similarly, UBS, I was just a regular kid. But then I found out about Experiential Learning Corporation, also known as ELC. It's a part of the company that Tarun sir just mentioned, Exco Learn Private Limited. So I found out that there's this company. So, but what ELC is essentially a private limited company incorporated and operated by students. Imagine how cool is that? A company, a private limited company run by students. And I was so excited because, well, what better way to learn about business than to do business in the campus? I sent a mail to Tarun sir right away. He said, cool, you're on board. And I was the happiest because, I was reliving my moments again. I felt like I was something again. I wasn't just a regular kid. I was a part of something in an educational institute, which, if you remember from my previous story, I wasn't doing so much in Gurgaon. So I felt nice. In fact, the next morning, because well, we went to the meeting and I learned that I am a marketing executive in ELC, and I was very excited. Tarun is very good at giving you titles, and he just makes you feel so good, and it helps. And I was a marketing executive, and we learned about our roles and everything. The next morning, I woke up, I went to the bathroom, I looked at myself in the mirror, and trust me, I was actually doing that. I was looking at the mirror, it's like, all right, you're the marketing executive of ELC, not bad, not bad. I was feeling good about myself. I was looking at the marketing executive of ELC. 3 months passed by. I was working hard. And one of the biggest things about my journey in ELC was taking risks. I had taken so many risks by taking so many dicey decisions and doing projects that were loss making as well. There were a lot of risk taking tasks that we did, but I kept going on and on and on. 3 months go by. I keep doing my objectives. I keep completing my goals. I keep taking risks. 3 months later, I wake up in the morning. I go to the bathroom. I look at myself in the mirror. Who am I looking at? I am looking at a person who is far more mature now than he was 3 months ago. I look at a person who can handle not just himself, but an entire department. Yes, I was no longer a marketing executive. I was a VP of marketing at ELC. I got promoted. I kept working harder. I kept taking more risks. I kept failing more. But I kept doing that for the next 6 months. I wake up in the morning, I go to the bathroom, I look at myself in the mirror. Who do I look at now? I see someone who is more self-composed now. I see someone who not only handles the department, but also handles the entire company. Yes, I was promoted. I was looking at the CEO of ELC, and I was so excited. I was so happy. And quite honestly, I thought that was it for me to achieve because, well, what more can you ask from a company who makes you the CEO? Like, I mean, that's the thing, right? The CEO is one of the biggest titles in the company, and I was content. Like, I was happy with where I was until this happened. 3 months later, I keep doing my things. I keep doing my work. I keep taking risks. Towards the last week of my tenure as a CEO, I still remember this moment so clearly because I was walking to the meeting room um, with Tarun sir, and he whispered this in my ear while entering the room, saying, "Hey, buddy, I'm going to make you the director by the end of the meeting because I like your management style." His words. And honestly, I just wanted everyone around me to vanish, and I just wanted to do some bhangra on my own. I was so happy. I was on the moon. Becoming a director, not only handling the company, but also owning shares and mentoring the CEO of the next CEO. This was great for me. And all of it, all of it. And by the way, a cherry on top. So when you're in ELC, you get business cards because you're employees of the company. So I had 3 sets of business cards: VP of marketing, CEO, director. And the pictures of those cards were floating all over my family WhatsApp groups. And it was funny at first, but deep down inside, I felt happy. I felt happy that my parents were proud of me, and my parents felt relieved in a way that, yes, we listened to him and we sent him to this college, and now he's doing great. So I was really happy to see that. And that was my first highlight, one of the longest lasting highlights, by the way, because I've been a part of ELC ever since I'm still in touch with them. Second one, the trip, the international trip. And I think this is one of the biggest things. Oh, by the way, we skipped the learning. So the learning I got from this was, and Tarun sir keeps saying this, you got to keep doing what you do. Keep taking risks. Do not ever be scared of failing, because not trying is worse than trying and failing. Because if you try and fail, you figure out a way of not doing certain things certain way. And that's what I did. I kept saying it. I kept taking risks and I kept climbing that corporate ladder. And that's what made me who I am today. Second one, the trip, the international trip. I think this is one of the biggest things UBS has done for me, honestly. So what happens is every year, UBS chooses a student to go out and, as Tarun sir explained, represent India and UBS on an international platform. Now, until my time, it was just with the MBA students. Like before me, only MBA students had gone. So I was under the impression that this is only for MBA students. So, when you enter a college and you're setting out your agenda, this was never on the agenda. This was not a goal for me. I was like, I'm not going to get this. I'm not an MBA student. And then our dear Gurdeep sir called me to his office, and he told me that, listen, we're sending you to the UK. This was in my third year. We're sending you to the UK. You're going to represent India and college, of course. And I swear, I was stunned for 5 seconds. I didn't know what to say. I was about to become the first BBA student to represent my country and my college on an international platform. And the best part of it was that the only expense you had to bear was my own shopping, because everything else was paid for. My travel, my food, my tickets, everything. So that was great. And the only thing I could make out of it was, like, the only learning I thought that I got from this was that I never aimed for this. And this reminds me of a very famous Three Idiots ka dialogue. Rancho towards the end says ki excellence ke piche bhago, success ke piche nahi. Similarly, I never had this on my agenda. I was just doing my thing. I was just, focusing on my studies, my ELC. I was almost on the front foot of all the other extracurricular activities. And fortunately, I just got noticed because I was doing so many things, and I tried my best to be so participative. So I was never running after that trip. I was just running after being able to do the most I can in this campus. And I got a reward. And I will always be thankful to the entire UBS family for this. Third, and this this is going to be this was one of the most surprising ones, because you guys know that I wasn't the best in studies after I moved to Gurgaon. And the third highlight is academics. Believe you me, I got a distinction after completing my BBA, and I was as surprised as all of you are right now. Trust me, I asked the professor who told me that I'm getting a distinction twice, thrice, ma'am, please confirm before I start celebrating and tell all my relatives. And then it turns out that, oh, wait, it was a mistake. Please confirm that. Did I really get a distinction? I was that surprised. Getting a distinction. That person in Gurgaon who couldn't even top 70% in school was now getting a distinction. I didn't know how to express myself. The first thing that I did was absolutely tell my family about it, and they were obviously more than happy. My dad actually asked me a couple of times, seriously? No, like, seriously, you're joking? No, shit, seriously? So see, just like me, he was as surprised. And I don't have, if you're going to ask me how I did this, I don't have an explanation for it. Honestly, I don't know how I got it. But the only possible theory that I think worked for me is because I was so indulged in all the other activities, not just study, because this is not just for studying. That I learned in the 3 years I was there. UBS in the 3 years. I was indulged in so many other activities, be it ELC, all the extracurricular activities, the parties, the events, everything. All the workshops, all the case study challenges. I think I was just training my brain. My brain was just getting exercised. And that, in a way or two, or indirectly, just helped me focus much better in my studies. So the best learning that I can give you from this is that, be it anywhere, your school, college, life, work, don't be a batsman. Don't be a bowler. Always be an all-rounder. This will help you, always. And it did help me, because trust me, I did not expect to get a distinction. Like, especially, like, so this was great. Fourth one, my fourth highlight. This is something that a lot of people tend to ignore. Excuse me. People, everyone in the world talks about IQ. Hardly anyone talks about EQ. What does EQ mean? EQ stands for emotional quotient. It defines the way you are with people around you. It defines the way you understand the different mindsets of people. And UBS is the best place for it, because you get people from all over the country, no, almost the world. My batch had 2 international students with me, and I was glad that I got to know them. So you get different mindsets. And I'm not even in this segment, I'm not even talking about getting to know different cultures. I'm talking about getting to know different people. Because with me, it was on a very large scale, because during the time of my CEO-ship and my directorship, I was managing all these different sets of people. And more than that, more than these different people, these different sets of people were also my friends. You know how difficult it is to have a friend work for you? I mean, all of us worked together in ELC, but if we followed the hierarchy of the company, I was the CEO and I had certain VPs reporting to me. So they were my subordinates in a way. And well, it's not the easiest thing to work with a subordinate, knowing that that subordinate is a very close friend of yours. I'll tell you a story about this. This one time, there was a VP of marketing, and he was a very dear friend of mine. He wasn't doing so well company wise. He wasn't showing up to a lot of meetings, and he wasn't really getting the objectives done. And he was a VP of marketing, and he had marketing executives under him looking at that behavior. They used to look up to him, and I did not want that to become an example that, okay, you can work this leniently and still get away. No. I had to take one of the toughest decisions of my life in UBS, to be fair. I had to review his performance, and he was a dear friend. He was on my badge. I had to review his performance, and eventually I had to terminate his employment. With a very heavy heart, I had to send him that mail. I think it's the first time I've ever fired anyone from the company. But I had to do it because I could not let him set an example like that to the new students who'd come in. And the company then prospered. Obviously, we found someone with we found a better match. And as far as the friend is concerned, we're on great terms right now. But all I'm trying to tell you is that yes, it's difficult, but in your life, never, ever, ever, ever mix your personal relations with your professional decisions. Never in your life, because this is something that you're going to learn the most if you manage to join ELC. And it's the hardest thing to keep up. And this will really help you in real life as well once you get out of this. Wow. So the fifth learning, this gets me to my fifth highlight, and it's actually one of my favorite highlights. It's this moment. 5 years ago, I could not speak like this in front of such intellectual individuals. I, you know, if if I'm describing you right now, you will know when someone asks you to speak in public like that. Nervousness, right? Nervousness comes in, your mouth gets dry, you start shaking up. I was like that 5 years ago. I told you how I was. I gave you some very intimate details about my background in my school life. I was a very derpok kid, yeah. I used to be very shy. I couldn't speak up like that. And because of UBS, because of the things that I did in UBS, be it ELC, be it all the other things, all the other event hosting, anything, I managed to get myself a TED Talk. And trust me, getting a TED Talk was hard. Yes, I'd give you that. But accepting the TED Talk was harder for me because I was like, okay, I have to speak for 18 minutes non-stop without any notes. I'm going to be honest with you. I have a set of notes right here, just a couple of words to guide me through the story that I'm telling you right now. But at TED Talk, I had nothing. So it was really difficult for me to say yes to that. But I did. Why? Because of everything that I had learned in UBS, that confidence that I built. And you must be thinking, it's just some people can speak in public, some people don't. And those who don't, well, what is the best way to sort of start doing that? And that will be the final learning of my final highlight. And trust me, as immature or as naive this might sound, this works and this worked for me. Ask questions. You must say, what? Ask questions? What does that mean? How does that help? How can I help my public speaking skills? No. Once you start asking questions in your lectures, you realize when you raise your hand and you're suddenly about to ask a question, everyone, including the professor, is your audience. They're listening to you. That's when you start. That's a small start for you. Once you start asking questions, soon you will start answering questions, and then you'll start doing great presentations. And before you know it, you will be able to speak exactly the way I am speaking to you so comfortably. I don't even feel like I'm giving a speech right now. I just feel like I'm talking to my friends, my buddies right now. That's how comfortable I am, and that's how comfortable you will get. A professor in my first year always used to say, his name was Robert Louis Stevenson. He was from the UK. And he told me something about this that I still remember and I still apply in my real life. He always used to say, guys, ask me questions, because there are no stupid questions in life. There are only stupid answers. So never be afraid to ask. And once you build up that confidence to ask a question, sure, might you might get some looks in the college, in your class. You know why? Okay, he keeps asking a question, but that doesn't matter. You're doing this for your own good, and I did that, and I managed pretty well. So always ask questions, and that will be your first step to perfect public speaking. And to round it all off, like I have been so blessed. I owe it to UBS completely. Everything that I have managed to do in my life has something or the other to do with the experiences or the accomplishments that I got from this campus. I have a mentor, Mr. Tarunandan, for life, and that means so much to me. I have such a beautiful network to be a part of, and this moment, of course, I'm getting to chat with such beautiful intellectual individuals such as you, and it's been such a pleasure speaking to you about this. And I hope you all stay safe and be happy. And by the way, you're gonna have a a very, very good time with Tarun sir, because he will make you work hard, but he will make you party harder. That's a slogan we've always lived by. That's something that he has always said during our meetings. So I'm gonna close my speech on that note. Work hard, party harder. Thank you.
Thanks, Vaneet. That was awesome, as always. So there are lots of questions coming in, so I'm going to start asking you. So one of the questions from Nidhi is, tell them something about your experience in the UK, MSc at University of Bath. They would love to get a flavor of that.
Okay, that's very interesting, because we spoke about the roller coaster. So my Punjab was like this, and then we came down, and then UBS was like that. So Bath, similarly, it was because it was such a competitive field. I gained so much from it, education-wise, and I compared both the modules. And I'm frankly telling this to you, sir, as well. There wasn't much difference. It's the same thing, but the only thing that I experienced to a greater extent in Bath was that whole experience, the opportunity to be able to pitch to a multi-billion-dollar company, and they implemented a part of our idea, which was the biggest thing for me, and from our team. And but otherwise, uh, exactly how you expect an international experience to be. Like, it was good to know different cultures. I have friends all over Europe right now. It's great to have a network. But quite frankly, and I hope no one from Bath is looking to build that network, quite frankly, listening to me right now. But if you really compare the studies, man, Indian studies are hard. Like, I could see all the Europeans struggling, and all the Indian students in my batch, this is nothing. We've done much more in India. So that's what I felt. But it was a good experience. Education wise, I think both the countries have something different according to themselves offer to the students.
Great. Vaneet, a
Wait,
compliment coming in. A compliment coming in. So I don't know if anybody told you, but now you're a great speaker. She didn't move an inch, and she's so fortunate and blessed to listen to you. Such a great session. Can't get enough of you. So you got some fan following already. Wonderful. Shubh wants to know about the Shubh wants to know about the ELC working, and how do you join ELC, criteria, if you can share with them. Because you've
it's exactly how
recruited
you
a
join a
lot.
company.
Yeah.
Yes. It's actually as simple as a job application. You join when you all will be coming to the campus. You will, you'll go through an induction program. They will also tell you about ELC and how you can apply. All you have to do is to send them an email saying that I want to apply to the company. So in the presentation, they tell you all about different departments, and I think I missed that point. So ELC has different departments: marketing, digital marketing, finance, HR, event management. So whatever suits you, just email them your name saying that I want to be a part of ELC in this department, and they will line up an interview. They will send you an email saying that your interview at this time. You pass the interview, and then you're a part of ELC. It's as simple as that.
Great.
Wait, I
Natik
can
wants to.
read through.
How was it as a newbie to
Yeah,
join the corporate world?
how was it as
Newbie,
a
just to join
newbie?
into the, yeah,
Oh,
someone brand new. How did it feel joining the company?
no, this is actually a great, the very exciting question because I felt the difference. The way we've been trained, in the way I was trained in UBS and the way I was trained in Bath, and after that, now I handle North India sales of Bestech cookware. Now, the cookware industry in India is not the most. It's not the most modernized industry, if you know what I mean. It's mostly about the distributors and the dealers and their margins. Very, very rough and tough industry. And I did not train for that. But what I found that being a newbie in that industry, I could so well apply the concepts that I learned. I'll give you an example, and I actually did this with Bestech. Bestech has some competitors in Delhi. So we made that framework, the perceptual map of where we are, where we want to be. And I'm sure nobody else in the business at our level is probably thinking that way. So for me, especially if I'm entering an industry like that with so much of knowledge of all these perceptual maps and all of the marketing tools, we really get a competitive edge against our competition. And that's what I applied, and it does apply. It's not just theory. Once you apply, you start working towards it, you get results for sure. So it was great to apply those. And yeah, it took me some time to settle in to the new industry, but the theories that I learned in college applied really. It helped me.
Great. So lots of compliments coming, more compliments than questions. Great story. I think Nandini, he answered, how does you become an employee of ELC? Really interesting. You've touched the heart of Anurag, who says, I'm shy. I would love to be have that confidence. Inspired. Ashwarya wants to know, did you ever think of starting your own business when you were in campus? So you can tell them about that as well.
Oh, oh yes, and that. Oh my God, why did I not talk about that? So when I was in campus and I became the director, and I thought, what else can I do, man? Like I can't replace Tarun sir now. He's a managing director. I'm not gonna take his seat now. Like let him be. But yeah, what else can you do? So I got this idea. In fact, my friend got this idea. He was my junior. He said, let's make a music company. Let's make a platform to promote musicians, and we'll get them work in different restaurants, and we'll take a margin out of it. Biggest blunder of my life. The biggest flop show ever. That company failed so much, and I'm glad I did it because I wouldn't have known. Because the only reason I started that company was because a friend asked me. I did not look at the market. I did not know the revenue stream. I only started because of a personal relationship without evaluating. That's exactly what I said in my speech earlier as well. That do not start or take any professional decisions on the basis of your personal relations. So that was a little bit of a startup for me, which but an amazing learning. So I'm glad that it did.
It's a little unclear.
Yeah, there is some. There's a
If
Aman.
anybody,
Aman, I think needs to.
Aman, can you
No,
go on
Aman.
mute,
Aman needs.
please? Aman, can you go on mute, please? Aman, thank you. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Aman. Great. Again, a lot of compliments. So there's a theme running through on your communication skills. So any other thing that you can help them besides asking questions is a consistent theme.
Watch, and watch. Trust me, I've experienced this personally, and this is not something that I did when I came to UBS. I started doing this when I came from Punjab to Gurgaon because I wasn't the best at speaking English. Like I used to, I had that Punjabi accent also. I didn't know a lot of words properly. I started watching English shows without the subtitles, and that if you're at that level, it really helps you. From the shows, I started watching speeches. Of course, Mr. Shashi Tharoor helps a lot in this case. But yeah, I started watching a lot of it. And the thing is, your mind works in such a beautiful way. What you consume is what you vomit, right? So that's what I started doing. I mean, I started watching so many English shows, so many English speeches, and I started talking. It comes naturally. It's like muscle memory. It just gets inculcated in you. Inculcated is a
Great.
word that I learned watching a speech. So that.
Great. How do you manage ELC with your studies and other extracurricular?
So college is never like a school, School may you are stuck in the one classroom from 9 to 4 or 9 to 3, whatever. College is very chilled out. It's more work to do by yourself. So self-management is needed to a great extent, but it's not a lot of work hours wise. Like my maximum amount of classes were, I think, 3 lectures in a day, and I was free the entire day. So, and obviously, Tarun sir knew this very well. So we only had meetings when everyone was free, and we could just do our background work on the background. And trust me, you will need this on campus because nobody can only survive. Nobody can just survive on studying. You need something else to do. So ELC was actually my pastime, like my relaxation, my off time. I used to like work. I used to enjoy it as well. So this was post studies in the evening or later at night. We used to have these finance meetings in my room. It was fun. It was super fun though. So yeah, time management is not an issue when it comes to ELC and studying.
Great. There's one very cheeky question. So one wants to see you at campus, hopefully, Anvesh. But Abhishek would like to know, Vaneet Bhaiya, what were the kind of punishments if you did something mischievous or did a mistake in campus? Anything you can remember of doing or someone of your friends doing something wrong and getting, besides getting
Uh,
fired from the company?
Um, something a punishment. Wow. Man, I'm proud to say I've been such a good student. I don't know anything about this, but a couple of friends, I think something that was obviously very popular amongst UBS, and this is something that happens to everyone. You know this very well. When all the students come in, all the professors sort of bully them in a way, like by giving them case studies, extra case studies, and this is like a case study challenge that we go through. We have to go sleepless nights. So that's what used to happen. If someone used to do some mischief, some harkat, vagara, anything, we used to get case studies to study, and we had to present them in front of the entire class. I mean, I'm not saying that's not helping, but initially that was the worst thing you could expect.
So Hina wants to know any work experience required for ELC.
No, I didn't have anything, nothing. I was an 18-year-old kid who had just joined. ELC will be your work experience once you go out there and get real jobs for yourself that will actually earn you money, will climb you high on that corporate ladder. So ELC will actually, for the most of you, will become your first work experience, and it is wonderful to have it on your resume. Will be wonderful to have it. So yeah, no, not needed. It'll actually help you.
And another interesting one is, how do you get in my good books? How do you
Huh?
get in my
How do you
good
what?
books? How do you get into my good books? They want to know the
Ah,
secret.
acha, how did I get your good book? I think you should answer that question.
No, you cracked the code. You cracked the code.
It's just okay. So something you need to know about Tarun sir. He will be friendly. He is super friendly. One of the most friendliest, like he's the friendliest teacher I've ever seen. But he means work. Okay, like when he means work, he means work. So no, go roaming around the bush with him. Nothing. To the point. Just if you're an ELC and he's heading you, you're reporting to him. Just do your work well, and you will get noticed. Trust me, this is what I did. A lot of the other students, I remember we were having that walk, and then we were taking that walk around the campus, and a lot of these students would come up to him and be like, "Hi sir, how are you? Fine." And he's friendly to all of them, but the best way to like really get to him and be in his good works is to get your work done, something that you promise, and deliver. In fact, deliver a little more than what you promised. He will go ballistic, I'm telling you. No
Great.
jokes.
He's spot on, by the way. He is spot on. Shashank, I also look to party harder. You've got to. Why don't you tell them about a little bit about Midnight Sunrise? They want to know what is party harder at UBS.
Midnight Sunrise was a baby of ELC. It was the revenue turner. It was everything that ELC wanted at that time and needed at that time. So ELC is basically, and of course, not surprised, Tarun sir invented the whole idea. So you can guess by the name, Midnight Sunrise means from midnight to sunrise. So it's basically a crazy party event that we ELC organize every year for students, where the real party, although everyone comes in around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, the food starts, everything's there. But the real party starts at 12 o'clock midnight and it goes on till sunrise, 6 o'clock. And it is such a ball, and you will be surprised to see how much this dude can dance. And I mean, he is twice our age, and he was out dancing almost all the other students, and he was till the end. So it's such a good, such a crazy experience to have. But on the work side, it's also very hard to organize. It gave me such a beautiful event management experience. I used to look at all these events and wonder, kaise karte honge, all these sponsors, and how to do all this. Once I started doing Midnight Sunrise, working in Midnight Sunrise, marketing, sponsorships, tickets, digital media, all of it was just in front of me. And yeah, it felt so beautiful to be able to see such a beautiful product made out of your own hands and like just there. So yeah, that was one of the craziest experiences of my life with UBS, truly.
Prachi wants to know, how do you come back if you get a blank expression while speaking to a large audience? They're not reacting to what you're saying. What do you do? And I'm sure in the UK, your response, if you make a pitch and you get a blank look, what do you do? How do you come back from
So
that?
I think if you get blank while speaking to, oh, so like if you blank out basically.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
You present something and the audience is blank. Like you're not getting the response you're expecting. So you're kind of in a tough spot.
What I usually do is, first of all, if I personally get blank, I like just take a sip of water, uh, stall them, do a lot of but if the audience is blank, right, I stop trying because the audience doesn't want that. Like if you try explain a point further, something that they're not relating to, finish it, move on to the next point, something fresh for them to understand and hear, listen to, and then they will probably, you have another chance for them to react in a hopefully positive way. That's what I do personally.
Great. Prachi wants to know, if your parents doubt you or your worth uh, and your capabilities, what do you do in such a situation?
You know, I thought about it so much before coming to UBS because, well, my parents were doubting, if not me, but the college, or how well will I do in the college. Um, you prove them wrong, Prachi. The thing is, when you take a decision just because you want that decision to be made, it's all on you. But if you take a decision on the basis of what your parents want, you will always resent them your entire life if, God forbid, anything goes wrong. But if something goes wrong that because of a decision you made, it's on you. So you can take it very well. It's either R or par for you, right? So you can, it's the best way is to just go with your gut and prove them wrong, and they will be more than happy if you do.
Great. Vineet wants to know about your meditation and music journey. Talk about your
Vineet,
music and your meditation.
I love this name, Vineet. Very good name. My journey, surprisingly, I it started, both of them started with UBS. There was so much of free time because this was when I wasn't really doing so much of ELC. I was still a VP. Um, and yeah, sports wasn't happening every day. So what I did was I just bought myself an instrument, a very small instrument. It's right here, in fact. It's a very small instrument. You can take it around anywhere. So I got this to campus and I started going around campus and I started playing it and everyone loved it. Everyone told me you should record it. And I started recording just to see how well I can improve after listening to myself. And yes, I just started recording. And in fact, my first video of Ukwala was shot on the football ground. So that was fun. And meditation, trust me, guys, you might have been to better places for meditation, but I think apart from Vipassana, I don't think I've ever seen a better place than UBS to meditate. It is so quiet and so nice, so pleasant. The best place to meditate, if you really want to pursue it, and it will get you great results. 5 to 10 minutes, if you're a beginner before sleeping, it'll change your life. Guarantee. Wow, thanks
Great.
for the shout out, Ansa.
Any interesting books or movies, English movies that you can share?
Honestly, and I completely respect everyone else's opinion as well. But honestly, in my opinion, I don't read a lot of books because I feel that books can tend to get very outdated because by the time they're written, edited, published, that phase has already passed by. So books I can't say so much about. I don't read myself. But yeah, I read a lot of articles, a lot of the Economist. I've subscribed to their articles, and it's so good to have this knowledge with you. And of course, movies. My personal favorite: watch any Leonardo DiCaprio movies; they will blow your mind. And all these movies that we used to watch. I think Gurdeep sir made us watch Moneyball as well. All these business-oriented movies really helped us. It helped us understand concepts that we were going to anyway learn in class, but this just helped uh, in general.
Great. Prashant wants to. What are the activities of ELC? What are the things they do? Just, I think, just a little
So,
more flavor.
okay, so marketing,
And
like if
and
you're
how?
hosting
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
and
Go ahead. How do you get
and
promoted?
things we can do to get promoted. Okay, right. So about the activities, you do your general marketing activities, like you if you're hosting an event, you need people to be at the event, right? So you go around to the nearby cities like Mumbai, Pune, you get their people, get their students to come in. Um, you promote your event like that. That's the marketing bit of it. Anything that you're doing on campus, even if you're doing like just an in college event, sorry, you would probably need sponsorships. So you go out in the market and get sponsorships. And I'll tell you this crazy tactic that we use for Octave minutes. So Karjat market isn't that big. I don't know, so the Karjat market isn't that big. Like it doesn't have a lot of big stores, right? Some small vendors, right? Because it's not like a city like Mumbai, right? So first of all, we had to explain how sponsorships work to half of the vendors. So what we did was instead of getting two, three, four big sponsorships, we got I think 25 to 30 small sponsorships. So everyone gave us 2 to 3,000 rupees. That ended up going up to 60K. And that's how we got that money for our event. So it's just, ideas like these. And we had so many small banners all over the college. So, things like these. Digital marketing, we handle the UBS social media, Instagram, Facebook, making sure that everything that is happening on campus goes live. Finance, keeping track of the financial activities. Event management, of course. Services, one of my favorites. So we have a laundry service. People, some of those lazy students who don't like washing their own clothes and ironing them. We had a service for them. We had late night cafe services. Like it would open. So the cafeteria shuts at around 10:30, and then the late night cafe would then open up. At least in my time, I don't know if things have changed, but in my time we used to open at 11, go until 1 o'clock. Students used to make shawarma and sandwiches and all of that, Maggie. So things like that, anything that the college or possible external clients need, we sort of just someone comes up with an idea and Tarun is the first one to say, yes, we need a department in that field. You're the VP now. You're handling this. And yeah, that's how we work. And to get promoted, just do your work well. Like more than talking, actually do it. Like because once you're in a team, you are competing with each other as well to get that spot. And in ELC, nobody really doubts your ability to work, but more than that, because even I was an 18, 19-year-old kid when I became the CEO, and I was managing people who were 30 years old. Quite frankly, they knew a lot more than I did. So you learning wise, you learn in that process. But what you really need to have is that leadership quality to be able to control the entire team, to make sure that they listen to you. That is the most essential thing Taruns will ever look for in a possible VP, CEO, or even director.
Any tips before joining UBS?
Any tips before joining UBS? Okay, if you are from a city, get used to not hearing the constant all those city life. Get used to not living the city life. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's a different experience. I mean, I might be biased because, well, I am a meditation guy and I love these kinds of places. But yes, it's a different experience, and you love it. Honestly, it is an experience to have, definitely. But on a more practical note, learn how to clean up your room, learn how to iron, learn how to cook if you want to cook for yourself sometimes. And yeah, just learn how to be. And one of the most important things, because I believe most of these are BBA people as well, coming straight from school, you're not going to be spoon fed in UBS. I'm sorry, they don't treat you as students, they treat you as employees here. You're getting ready for the real world. And if you flunk here, there will be no mail sent to your parents saying, hey, your kid is not doing well, please tell him. If you let go of your ambition here, you will drown. And this is not something that I would want to have, like, I would want any one of you to go through. So yeah, just really be a little more responsible, and don't get too carried away with the freedom and the free time and the freedom you get in UBS. Just keep that in mind.
Great. So the last question is actually addressed to me. So yes, we are delighted to have you guys all on campus, waiting for the lockdown to end. I'm getting signals from the government of Maharashtra that this next week onwards the lockdown will ease off. So as of now, we are holding to our 1st August start, which is as per AICT, unless they have changes, and the government is not in my control, certainly. So as of now, we're tracking to a 1st August start, which is a month delay from the July start. So thank you very, very, very much. Some amazing compliments. Normally compliments come at the end of the speech. Your compliments started from the moment you started speaking. So delighted. He's not only my student, he was my colleague. He was part of my team, and he's a dear friend. So I think it's been fantastic. We chat. He's also had the privilege, people have had the privilege of coming and partying in my house as well. So I think, thanks, Vaneet. You're truly special. I wish you all the very best. And thank you all for those wonderful questions. Some amazing comments coming up. Wonderful. I'm sure you can see. Great, delighted, motivated, awesome, loving it. Stay safe. And thanks, Vaneet. Hope to see you
Absolutely.
soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. This was great, especially catching up with you and everyone. Oh my God. Thank you, everyone, so much. It's been such a pleasure telling you everything. And feel free to get in touch with me. You can find me on Instagram. It's Vaneet Chaudhary. Get in touch with me. And if you have any questions, anything to ask me, feel free. I'll always be there. Okay? Stay safe.
Great.
And yeah, prosper.
Thank you. Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye.